Hi guys, it's Linda with No Frills ASMR. I just thought it's late. It's late at night, and I was thinking about voting and kind of making my plan. And so I thought, let's do a quick video just sort of discussing, well, how to vote and that I think you should. And then I thought we could just look at the elections I've voted in. Things like that. I don't know. Just quick little thing. And part of why I'm making this is that out of spite or something, because I had told my son that I was thinking of doing this, and he said, "Did you learn nothing from the Electoral College video where you got horrible, mean, terrible comments?" And I said, "What I learned is I'm not going to let anybody tell me, you tell a 53-year-old woman what she shouldn't do. She gonna do it." That's what's happening. I was like, oh no, I need to go do it. So having said that, I'm not a social studies teacher or a civics expert, I'm just a human being person, citizen of this country. And I'm just going to share a little bit about voting. So I think, I was trying to remember. Now, I was in high school during the election year of George H.W. Bush, and he ran against Michael Dukakis. And I remember being in high school because we went to see Michael Dukakis speak. And for some reason at that rally, I fainted. So I remember that. Not like out of like, I just was dehydrated or something. I don't know. And I think that was the second time I fainted. And I've probably fainted maybe 4 times in my life, so I'm a fainter. But I remember that because there was a crowd, and I kind of got locked into this crowd, and and my friend Jill was like, "Oh my God." And then George Bush came to our high school, as I recall. And so we were going to see him too. But because we weren't old enough to vote, this is true, they wouldn't let us in to the actual venue, like the auditorium. And we had to go to, there was a gym, I guess it was the gym. And then there was an auditorium where they'd have like stage plays and stuff. So they put it on a TV with a live, there used to be a name for that, like a broadcast that was live, but there's a name for that. I can't think. Anyway, so we were in the auditorium watching, and we were like, oh, come on. But they wouldn't let us in. So that makes me think, see, in December of 89, I turned 19. So I must have been old enough to vote. So maybe I did vote. I just feel like I was too young, but maybe that's why I was so mad, because I was actually old enough, but they wouldn't let us in because we weren't eligible. But I think I was, because I was kind of like older than my class, not because I failed or anything. I just turned out, that's where my birthday was. I don't remember going to vote, but I must have if I was old enough, because I know I voted in every election, presidential election, since I've been eligible. But I can't remember. All right, yeah, so I'm trying to think if I went to any other like rallies. I know I did in high school just because that was like, I don't remember if it was like a curriculum thing or if there was just a group of us who went. Because we were in Michigan, I think even back then it was a swing state, so they all came through Michigan. Anyway, so I have voted in, let's see, 1, 2, 3. This one, it was Clinton, but there was the guy who went, here's the deal. The rich guy, what was his name? I hate to say I think I voted for him, but I can't remember his name right now. I don't remember. Okay, 1, 2, 3. And then actually some of these were more than one, so I would have voted okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So this will be my 10th election. Does that sound right? I guess that's right, unless I did some math wrong, which is possible, and don't yell at me. So, very exciting. So I do hope, that everybody, who's eligible goes and votes, because it's exciting. I always get like, I'm weird. I know it's old fashioned, but I get kind of emotional. Like, I'll go in there and I get excited, and then you go. Usually what happens is you can go to your state's like government website, and now they have they used to send you a voter registration card in the mail, but I think now they have like a website, and you can put in your last name, usually I think, last name, first name, birth date, probably your county, and it'll tell you exactly where your precinct is. So you can't just go anywhere and vote. You have to go to your precinct, or whatever it's called. I should have looked that up, but it'll tell you where to go. And so like ours is a local elementary school. So you go in, and when you park your car, and hopefully it's not too crazy, because now they're starting to do a lot more early voting and mail-in voting. So hopefully there won't be like too much people for you. So you walk through, and when you first come on the property, there's always all these people set up with their tables with information about their candidate, which always feels to me like a little late, like I think we've all made up our mind by now. But and then you go inside and find your number and everything, and you'll figure it out. It's not that hard. And then you go through, and usually there's like some little lady, and a lot of times, at least in ours, maybe we're old-fashioned, I don't know. Here's the thing. Every county in every state is different. So there's no like for sure. But with ours, there's a little old lady who's always there, and she goes through all the little papers that have everybody's name, and she asks you where your address, and then she pulls out the card and then does something, I don't know, and then this guy double checks it, and then this guy triple checks it, and it goes through the whole thing. And then you take it, and this has changed over time. They used to give you like a cartridge, I think, and you put the cartridge into this computer thing, and then you'd see, this has changed so much. It used to be like you'd stamp it or something, and then now it's like a computer screen. I don't know. I think right now most places probably have something that looks sort of like an iPad, and on that iPad it will have your choices, and you just pick your choices. And if you make a mistake, you can fix it. And if you're like really super anxious or nervous or anything like that, you can ask for help. You can tell them when you're in line, that you would like to have assistance. You can bring a friend, and you can say, I'd like my friend to come in. They might ask you, like, what's your disability? And you can say anxiety or whatever, like whatever. You don't, you're allowed to have somebody help you. But it's easy, but I understand like some people get just worked up about like, what if I make a mistake or whatever. I feel that way sometimes, for sure. So you can ask, somebody will help you. I forgot there was some, and then it depends, like sometimes they have this cartridge you take out and you put it in somewhere else. Sometimes you get a sheet and you take it and you slide it in, it scans it. It just depends on where you are and how they do it, but they'll have a guy there, or a girl, woman, person there, who will help you with that end of it. And they put it in like a secure thing so nobody can see it, so nobody knows. But you go ahead and get it, like submitted while you're there. And then they should hopefully give you a little sticker that says I voted. And at our place, they have a bowl full of candy too. So you get a sticker and candy. It's all very fun. Yeah, but when you're in the booth, it used to be they had like a curtain. But now it's just they have like wood or something, I don't know, something around it. So you're really all by yourself, like nobody's around. And you can take as much time as you want. There is, whatever, take your time. And nobody can see what you're doing. And even if they have a piece of paper that you have to put in, they have you put it inside an envelope so that they can't see it. And then when you put it in, it goes upside down. So nobody ever sees what you voted. It's all anonymous. And like I said, I'm not an expert, so if I have anything slightly wrong, just forgive me. You can look up anything you need to know at a website. You can just put in like Google USA.gov. And then if you want to go straight to where you can put /voting. And elections. If you just type like that into Google, it'll give you, let me start that over. USA.gov/voting and elections. And that's like the government site, but it will lead you to your own state's site. And there you can check to see if you're registered to vote, where you go to vote, all the information you need. You should be able to find from this. If you can't, you can look, on your state's website. And like I said, if you go to the library, they a lot of times will have actual paper, like brochures from the League of Women Voters that are nonpartisan, that tell you what the candidates' stances are on different issues. And you can probably talk to a librarian and ask them. They will have resources for you on how to find out anything you need to know about your local voting and elections. They could probably help you find exactly what's going to be on the ballot beforehand. On here and on the, I'll try to put some links below for some nonpartisan, like this USA.gov, the League of Women Voters. I think they have a practice ballot you can fill out that has all the more local things you might have to vote on or want to vote on. Oh, that's something else. If there are things you're like, I don't know, I just don't know, I only really wanted to vote for president, that's okay. You can just vote for president and not vote for anything else if you feel like too unsure. Because I understand sometimes there'll be things on there and they word them funny, so you don't really know. Like, if you just are unsure, it's okay to leave it and not vote on that issue. You don't have to vote. Nobody's making you do anything. So that, I was looking, and this could be a little bit old news, I don't know, but there are 25 states, they said, where you don't have to register to vote. You are basically automatically registered if you get a driver's license. So if you have been to the DMV or whatever your local motor vehicle is called in your state and gotten a driver's license, you are probably already registered to vote in 25 states. And those states are Washington, Oregon, California, Nevada, Alaska, Hawaii, New Mexico, Colorado, Minnesota, Illinois, Michigan, Georgia, Virginia, West Virginia, Pennsylvania, Maryland, D.C., Delaware, New Jersey, New York, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, Maine, and Vermont. So if you're in any of those states and you have a driver's license, you're probably already registered to vote. They're called opt-out states. So if you don't want to be registered, you can say, I don't want to be, and you'll opt out. But otherwise, you're like automatically opted in. I believe, I could be wrong. Again, you can go to the links, but please don't yell at me. Because, look what you made me do. I'm just playing. Let's see, what else was I going to say about voting? Like, I get that feeling of some people are just kind of nervous to go do it for the first time. But once you've done it once, you're like, okay, I got that. It's no big deal. And like I said, you get a sticker and candy. I just think it's so important, and it feels good. It makes you feel like a citizen of the country. And I know a lot of people are like, both sides are terrible and whatever. Yeah, government's not perfect. You're right. But you have to pick your poison, as they say. Anyway, let me think. Oh, I know what else I was going to say. In the last election, the 2020 election, we had the highest voter turnout since like the 1900s or something. I mean, it may have been the highest ever, I guess, but anyway. And that was 66% of registered voters turned out, which is 2/3 of registered voters, about, around there. Which means that there's a third of registered voters who did not turn out, which is millions and millions of people. But they're registered to vote, which I guess means they're probably in a state where they're auto. Because why would you register and then not show up? I don't know. Although I guess some people sit out a vote just because they're like, I really don't like either candidate, I mean, I could see that. You don't have to do anything. I just always kind of go and read all the stuff about them and pick the one that matches my ideals the most. The other reason I think is to vote, especially if you are from a minority community of any sort, even if that's just within your state or something, you know what I'm saying, is if they see, and I'm talking politicians, a voting block of people who maybe hadn't voted before and now they're voting, believe me when I tell you, all of a sudden funds and interest will go towards that voting block. Because anytime a candidate's party thinks they can pick up votes somehow by having new people who hadn't shown up before or whatever, they'll start to do things. I cannot see well enough to tell what's what here. Where does Pennsylvania? I can't see it. Well, there's Youngstown. That's in Ohio. My eyes are just not that good. It's got to go. Let's see. Erie's in Pennsylvania, right? Erie. Yeah. But Youngstown, so it must be right here somewhere. Okay. Yeah. I don't know. I hope I haven't made people mad again. I don't mean to. I love you all. But I thought I'd post this after the last thing. I was like, okay. I didn't mean to upset everybody. But I do. I'm a strong believer in voting. I just think it's Where's New York? Buffalo. Okay, it goes all the way here. Massachusetts. And then Maine. I don't know. Let's see. It goes up here. It's dark in here. I swear it shows up more on the iPhone screen than it does in real life. Like if I look in here, I can almost see the lines. I don't know. I can't tell what's what here. Alrighty. Well, I will try to put some links below. I see what I can find that's super nonpartisan. I'm a believer in the League of Women Voters because they are nonpartisan. They do a good job of that, I think. And they do the write-ups that tell you all the points of, what is the word I'm looking for? Policies. I think that's kind of good to have. And you should, look at the policies and see how they'll affect your life personally. It does matter. Here's the Edmund Fitzgerald Bank. All right, I'll talk to you guys soon. Good enough. And alright. I gotta go to bed. It's late. USA.gov/voting and elections. I looked at that. It has a lot of good information. But I like the League of Women Voters one, which I linked on the other video because it has the practice ballot and you can go to your zip code or address, I forget, and it tells you, what exactly will be on the ballot. That's really nice to have. That's always I have had it where I walked in and I'm like, there are issues, they're like littler issues for local